Flight Boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of Terry's Mill, Flight Boss Sergeant Uriel, and Dolo here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now we're gonna talk about sin. What is sin? Now, the totality of sin. Now we know when we break down words and stuff, everything, everything is gonna equate to the same frequency vibration. It doesn't matter what, like when you want to go to consciousness, constellations, that word con is going to percolate and play as an energetic force into that whole totality of words and things that's put together. So this is what you need to understand. Now, for the most part, when we want to talk about sin. Now, sin, we know it got N in there. I-N-E-N-E-N-D, whatever something that got something to do with N, we know that's something going into something. Now, we know at the beginning of it has S. So S is like the snake, the serpent. You see what I'm saying? So the snake, the serpent going into something, aka your frequency going into a vibration. So this is where sin actually correlated from. Now, the simple fact that I can't sit here and say that these words was never meant to mean this, because these words was created for that meaning in general. So only thing I can really do is get you an understanding of where they got that frequency from in order to make it vibrate in the way that they wanted to vibrate and create lights and illusions from that source of the meanings that they want from it. But that's the really only really I can tell you. You know what I'm saying? So getting to the simple point right now when we want to talk about sin. We know sin is taking the frequency and going into the vibration. Taking your left brain and using too much of it into the right brain. Trying to logically understand things that don't need to be logically understood. So this is the root cause of sin. You see what I'm saying? Okay, yeah. This is the root cause of sin. So I need you to understand that. The root cause of sin is going into a vibration where you're using too much of your left brain and try to logically understand too much of to the point that this happens every day. You sin every day when you have an imagination but think too hard about it, so you talk yourself right up out of it. You see what I'm saying? So anytime you're going into a realm of reality, you're going into an illusion, you're causing sin. So sin ultimately is going to mean overindulging. So anything you're overindulging in and not doing things in moderation becomes a sin. So even if you want to come down to 3D and look at the punk ass illusion lights of any sin that got something to do with a religion, 9 times out of 10 is going to break something down as in something that a human can do that's backed and supported by their emotions and feelings, like thou shalt not kill, and thief and things of that nature. That's due to emotion. That's due to an emotional standpoint, an emotional expression. You know what I'm saying? Just go look at the sins. All the sins is going to be predicated towards an emotional nature. You know what I'm saying? So, because all those actions that those sins talk about, the actions itself is backed and supported by an emotion or a feeling. Because you have to be in some type of emotional state to carry out that duty and obligation. So that's the totality and core of sin. Now, sin and the word and the baggage that it carries itself is based upon the realm of reality and the illusion lights that the Northern Seas and the grammatic people who created the language and shit predicated it around. You know what I'm saying? Who created y'all Roman natures and shit like that. But at the same time, that's just the totality of where they got it from. They trying to control that energy. But I'm telling you what specific space and location in space that energy comes from. It comes from it comes from sin. It comes from going in. So anytime you involve yourself in something, you know what I'm saying, make yourself a part of something, go into something, go into a realm of reality, go into a state of awareness, go into emotional state, be in your feelings, be in your emotions, try to dictate your vibrations by logically inference. For an example, you may feel something is a certain way, and you may try to logically create what you thought that feeling is. For an example, you ever had like a nervous feeling or a feeling when somebody about to come around, and you start to logically use the left brain tools in order to dictate that experience. So you end up trying to take shortcuts or square around that circle, aka go around that experience and into totality of things back in the stupid. I need you to understand, all religions, the further back it is, the stupider it is. It ain't the further back it is, the smarter they was is. That's the human mistake number one. But when they're going back, this is what they're talking about. They're talking about the moment that you use too much of your left brain to dictate the experience that you have not even experienced yet, then they looked at that as a form of you're trying to control something. You're being a Satan. You're being a Satan. You're being a Satan. You're being a devil. These words is not meant to be beings. These words is meant to be characteristic traits. And everybody have all these characteristic traits. Understand that? You see what I'm saying? So that's sin. That's what sin is. Sin is the ability to be in something. That's sinning. Going in. Anytime you go in something, is going to be an end to that. Because when you receive information, you're going in a form. An Asian is a nation. So you're going in a form of nations. So you're going in a bunch of single forms that come together to create a nation, and they create an overall form. And you have to go in it to understand it. You always going in a form. To gain any kind of information, you have to go in a form. So as a spiritual being, you have to go in bodies to gain information for your conscious awareness, for your spirit, right? This is why every time you try to gain information, what do you do to gain information? You have to figure out something. Figure out. Understand. Figure out. Oh, I got to figure it out. Understand what words you're using. You have to figure out. The figure is the form that's being shaped by the information that you're trying to receive. Information, you're going in a form of germs. See what I'm saying? But see, I can't go that far for y'all yet. I gotta bring it back. I gotta bring it more 3D. Information. That's you think you're receiving knowledge. You think that's forms of light. See, but you're going in a form, in a body, in a being, and in that form, it has a formation. So a formation is a bunch of smaller pieces to it coming together to create that nation, to create that form. So you have to go in that form, and you have to figure out. So anytime you want to receive information, you have to figure out. So you're going into a form to figure your way out of it. So you're going into a body to figure your way out, of that body. That's why when they say out of here, you know what I'm saying? When you leave the mind, when you leave your own brain, what's the outskirts of that? Hair. So don't get confused by the grammatic language and have them thinking that you're talking about out of here. It's out of here. This is the same thing. To get out of here, you go through the here. You go through the hair. You go out as the same way you came. Now, it's different ways. This is why each chakra has a hair ballage around it. You know what I'm saying? You go down to the root chakra where a woman give life and a man give life. The man give life and the woman give life. Just in two different ways. I don't know why y'all don't understand that. Y'all retarded. You know what I'm saying? Just the perception of it is different. The perception, the frequency vibrations of it different. But a man has to give life. And then once that life goes into a woman, the woman has to give life. But both of these lives are just transitions from bodies. And that conscious, that formless, shapeless, odorless, non-flammable gas that took the totality of you and start taking and reshaping the forms within you that you had, that was your child, right? That was your child. And your child is receiving information for its consciousness awareness. So each body it goes into, aka information, right? It gets consciously aware to figure its way out. You know what I'm saying? So this is what you're doing as a spirit. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I just be making faces and stuff like that, because I start to think about all the people y'all do listen to and all the conclusions that y'all come to make y'all think that y'all right and make y'all think that the people y'all listening to right. And then I jump into the shoes of all the people that'll watch me and look at me like it's wrong. Then I realize how much work I gotta do. Because this is what I realized. When you take a person away from something, aka remove something that was in their mind, that got fixated in their mind, aka a formless, shapeless, odorless, colorless, non-flammable gas, aka an idea that they received from somebody else's, right? And when it goes into their mind, and then that idea start to take shape and form and vibrate and take the totality of this person to the point that this person feel like they're in a relationship and they feel like this is who they are, right? When you take that away from a person, I realize as weak humans, you have to give a weak human something to replace it. Because if you take something from them and then leave them with nothing, it's going to cause a frenzy. And in the astral plane, we call that a spiral. We call that a spiral out of control. A star with no direction. A star that's in search for direction. A star that's in sin. Because they too busy going into every realm of reality. Same way you going down here, you got a religion that teach you sin, but they taught you sin to enslave you. When the original sin in the first place is you being in to a religion. You being in to an occult. You being into something and not having a frequency of your own. See what I'm saying? So when we talk about, when we want to talk about sin and talk about this is how we look at it in the astral plane. Look, y'all get all y'all knowledge from us, from the stars. Y'all get everything. This is not a situation where it's like y'all made up something and you can compare it to as above so below. No, this is a situation where you came up with something and where you got it from was us. So every word all you humanity can come up with, all the words, all the slang, all the languages, all the body movements, all the body sigils, all the shapes, all the anything you can come up with, you got from us. This is not a situation that you came up with it and you can equate it how it's like that up here. No, this is a situation where it's like you got it from up there. Period. Period. Each word, period. Everything comes from up there. Everything you can even think of come from up there. So don't ever think you came up with something. You see what I'm saying? This is what I'm trying to get you to understand. Religion was came up with someone's imagination. I'm telling you where this shit came from. So this is sin. Sin was came up with someone trying to utilize that energy for something. I'm telling you what the actual energy of it is. It's purely when you try to decipher too much of the right brain with the left brain. That's sinning. You got to create balance. Balance between the right and left brain. You know what I'm saying? We can say people in the conscious community is sinning. We can say scientists are sinning because they're taking things from the right brain and trying to add too much logical inference to it. To the point that these niggas is turning themselves into computers. See what I'm saying? You adding too much logical inference to the right brain, and there's truly no balance. Flight boss, bitch. Goddamn hair.